So tell me again, where is this airing at?
I do the long version for Race Day Live.
Oh, okay.
Would you say, with especially given the step up so fast, at least it was surprisingly, has he surprised you?
Yeah, actually, I mean, like, I know, like, he's good, and but yeah, he really did. 'Cause I honestly, like, in my head, my expectations are like, okay, like, top 10, thinking like 10th, you know what I mean? But I know how bad my boy wants to win. Like, I know, he wants to win so bad, more than, like, I could even explain. But yes, he did surprise me, like, pulling off a couple podiums already. Like, I was like, no way, is that already happening in the first season? So, yes, he did surprise me, but not really, though, because I know how bad he wants it. So.
From a mom's point of view, like, did you ever have to say, like, Hayden, if this is not what you want to do, you know, because it's different coming from a mom than it is from the father.
Yeah, I think, like, generally people assume, like, oh, if you're a pro athlete, your kids are just gonna fall right into that same category and do what you did. But honestly, like, for us, we didn't push that on our kids, like, at all. We weren't like, oh, like, they're gonna be, you know, Supercross racers or whatever. Like, for us, like, we actually just wasn't even in the game plan to do dirt bikes when they're babies. It just kind of evolved that way. Like, Hayden naturally loved dirt bikes more than anything, like, loved it. So getting him on a bike just, you know, fell right into it. Obviously, have the best coach, like, being that Brian's his dad, and, you know, he's gonna, like, put the right people in place, the right mechanics, the right bikes, and but Hayden also had to work, you know, to get those too. Like, you're not gonna get put on a team just because, you know, your dad's Brian Deegans, so you get put on a team. It doesn't work like that. Like, there's too many kids out there racing moto that those teams do pick those top kids, you know, and they gotta see your work ethic, and you've got to work, and, you know, it is a different type today than back then. So you definitely have to want it. You definitely have to put in the work. And, you know, luckily we were able to put all those right resources in place for Hayden to make it happen. And he obviously makes it happen. So
there's a lot of moms in Supercross that watch the sport. They want to hear. No, I just think what you said was little. Like, those insights, like, it's really pushing players.
Yeah,
without all that, he's that kid that.
They're not doing it anymore.
Oh, what?
Looks like you do it anyway.
Have you noticed a change since you stepped up?
Yeah, just recently turning pro, it's like that's changed a lot. Amateur racing, you were racing, you know, once every month or 2 months even, and now we're pro, we're racing every weekend. It's go. We get back from the flight home, the next day we're training again all week long, then we're racing. So now the pro life's very busy.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. Racing every weekend is very exciting. It's kind of a bummer racing amateurs, how it's so spread out like that. And racing Supercross and stuff, I feel like it gives you, like, time to learn. And say, like, you have one, like, not so great race, well, you got next weekend to improve. So it's a big learning curve for me racing Supercross every weekend, and just kind of getting used to all of it.
From the very start, like, what are your earliest memories?
Shoot, I don't know. I don't really remember. I don't remember back to, like, 50s or anything like that. I really don't. I do remember one memory on a 50. 4 to 6 class on a junior 50. I think it was a Cobra. And I remember first time at Loretta's, and I remember I was like, first moto I crashed. That's all I can remember. I was going around the outside and I crashed into soft stuff, and that's literally all I remember from 50s, because, like, no, my first year my parents didn't expect me to do that good, and I had that bad moto. Then I got, like, a first and a third, and it was like kind of cool for us. I don't know, but that's all I kind of remember on the 50 is crashing that first moto.
So how old were you then?
I had to been like 6 or 7. I didn't start racing until I was like 6 or 7, so it was right around there. Yeah, I don't think people understand the grind. Honestly, it's every single day we're training, we're working. It's not like it's not just your daddy got you this bike so that you can go win. It's not like that. It's you got to put your heart into this sport. It's gnarly. It's injury wise too. It's like nothing's easy about it. It's just training and training. That's why I try to make it fun, so it makes it a little, less hard. Going out there and having fun doing your motos, throwing whips in the middle of your motos and stuff, just trying to keep it fun, because it really is a full-time job. It's working every single day, so any way you can make it fun like that, it's exciting.
Where did Danger Boy come from?
I was little, I don't remember the whole story, you gotta ask my dad, but I do know it kind of was like, I was like all the guys were hanging out, and I remember I was on my bike, I think, and I was like hitting a jump or something, and I think it was when I was like 7 or something, and they all gave me that name. You gotta ask my dad, I'm not 100% sure.
You like it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I feel like I'm getting a little old for the Danger Boy now, so I might change it to Danger Teen. No, it's fine. Yeah, the Danger Boy, it was good for when I was little, but it's still a good name. Like, it's a good company. Like, I can make that something good for me. So even just like kids brands, kids are big into dirt bikes, so Danger Boys, like kids and stuff. So it's a good brand name, and I mean, I enjoy the Danger Boy name. It kind of gives us like a little effect, you know.
Price's birthrace.
What's the common thread of being a Deegan? Like, what is the DNA? And especially now that you get to see it in your kids.
Yeah. I mean, you never know, like raising your kids, you know, how exactly they're going to turn out. All kids' personalities, they're all built different, and at least mine are. And I feel like we just kept trying to instill the never give up mentality. You know, it's, you know, if you fall down, get up, try again. And that's always been our mentality, is just to push and do the best that you can do. And like I always say, be the best that you can be. And if whether that's number 1 or that's 5th or 10th, it's like, it is what it is, but be the best that you can be. And I feel like that's been what it's, you know, the best way to describe being a Deegan. That's kind of our household, and it's not just me, you know, it takes 2 to, I feel like, to raise kids like that. And with my wife, and she's tough, and she's, you know, the kids fall down, they can't cry to mom, which definitely has helped, you know, the situation to form the kids into tough athletes. And I think it is a lot of pieces to the puzzle, for sure.
What's the best advice you've given him during this year then?
I think the best advice for him was like just to get the laps and gain the experience, and don't waste the time there. You know, there's only so many races this year, Supercross for him, and let's get everything we can get out of it. Let's study the tape, let's study the video, study, you know, your lap time, study all the data, like just try to get the most out of it. So next season you can come in extremely prepared, you know. Imagine the level he'll be at next year compared to if he didn't race Supercross this year. You just think of how much experience he's gained, which has been the number 1 goal. And I think that's been the most important thing in this season, is gaining experience. Trophies are cool, for sure. Like, that's cool, right? We always love winning trophies here at this house, but it's a long game. It's a long game, right? That's the game. So NBC asked if they could do a feature, like a kind of a catch up on the family, because Hayden's obviously doing good this year in Supercross, and it's a little story there, I guess, on the family to be told. But so they came by, did a quick interview with all of us, and it should be cool. It's always cool to kind of do those. I know we're all busy, always doing stuff, but I like doing things like that because it's a moment in time that gets documented, and you can always go back and see it. And I don't know, I think it's good to be able to tell our story and help build the sport, really. So that was today.